Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I actually slept in today. It was a rainy night, all night long, nice and cool outside, and I actually slept until like 6 o'clock in the morning, which is kind of unheard of. But I thought I'd take you along today on my little diabetic journey, all right? And how everything is going with reversing this diabetes that I was diagnosed with. I believe it was the 13th of January of this year. So what I did is, since I've been having really good results, I'm very excited about my next doctor's appointment, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, so that I can get my blood work done again. But I've been having really good results with my daily tests of testing my glucose. So I dug out my old paperwork that showed my average glucose throughout the day on the 2 different times that I've had my blood checked for glucose and A1C and stuff like that. And I thought that maybe today I would go ahead and take you along on my journey of testing my blood glucose level. I'm going to do it 3 times. Usually I don't do it really early in the morning, right after I wake up, and I haven't done it yet because usually during the morning, your body, when you wake up, it produces a hormone called, I believe it's pronounced cortisol. Cortisol or cortisone, something like that. And this is supposed to be meant to like wake you up, to tell your body, hey, get on up. It's time to go at it, time to go and work in that field, right? And it makes your body produce natural glucose from within your own body. It makes your liver produce that glucose to get you going. And that's called I think it's called the dawn phenomenon, all right? Or the dawn effect, something like that. So usually when you wake up first thing in the morning, your glucose level is going to be a little bit high. So it's going to be kind of like a false reading, right? Because it was naturally occurring and not done by you because of what you eat or because of your sedentary or non-sedentary lifestyle, either or, right? So I woke up about 15-20 minutes ago, 6 o'clock in the morning. It's about 6:20 now. I let the dogs out and I went and took a look around my yard to see what we're going to do today, being that it's going to be raining all day. I think maybe I'll take you out there and build the door for the chicken coop with you all, but first have to go to Lowe's to pick up some hinges. But anyways, I wanted to go ahead and, for those of you that haven't been here for the entire time, I wanted to go ahead and remind you all of what my average glucose reading was when I was first diagnosed with diabetes, and then on my second trip, and then today we're going to take our average from 3 readings that I'm going to do by poking myself 3 times today. And here, this one was the very first one. If you all remember, my A1C for the very first time was 9.2, which is pretty high. Your average A1C level, for those of you that are not familiar with A1C, and A1C is what tests the long-term sugar that's kind of like stuck to your blood cells. That's kind of like the best way I can explain it. But my A1C was 9.2, and a good A1C, it says here, is between 4 and 6. So my A1C was about twice as high as what it should be according to, the numbers that the doctors come up with. And my average glucose, meaning that throughout the day, if you took my glucose reading throughout the day at that time, my average was 217, ladies and gentlemen. That is extremely high. For me, it is. I know some people it's a lot higher, but 217 is very high, especially when your glucose reading, your normal levels are supposed to be like between 80 and 110 or something like that. All right. Here it says that you shouldn't go above 126. All right. So on this paperwork, it says you should not go above 126, but the lowest should be around 80, somewhere like that, 80, 75. So that was back on January 13th of this year. Now, when I went and redid my blood work for my sugar, my glucose, back in April 19th of this year, so about roughly 4 months after my first blood reading or my blood tests, my hemoglobin A1C, remember, it was 9.2 when it first started. It had come down to 6.8. So that is really good, from 9.2 to 6.8 in 4 months. And this was a time when I went complete ketovore. Ketovore meaning that I was not eating more than 20, maybe 25 carbs per day. Net carbs, not net carbs, but complete carbs, right? Some people eat 50 carbs, but say, hey, only 25 of those 50 were net carbs because of fiber and stuff. But I was counting all the carbs that I was eating one day. I was keeping it below 20, 25, something like that. And I got more strict as time went on. All right, so that first 4 months, I was able to drop my A1C from 9.2 to 6.8 by going on a Ketovore diet. And my average glucose reading, ladies and gentlemen, went from 196, was it 196 or 197? I have to check, I'm senile. It went from 217, I'm sorry. My average glucose went from 217 all the way down to 148. Now, I'm going to see what my average glucose reading is throughout the day. And of course, it's not going to be as accurate as this is right here, because this gives you the average for the entire day, whereas I'm going to average it out with just 3 readings today. I'm going to go do one now, and then I'm going to do one around noon or so. I was going to say around lunchtime, but I really don't eat until after, probably around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I'll do one about a couple of hours or so after I eat my meal. And we'll see what we have to eat today. I think today is a hamburger day, but we'll see what we have to eat today. So let's go inside and let's go ahead and do our blood glucose reading for the first time of the day. And then I'll tell you exactly what time it is when we get in there. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with a glucose testing kit, good for you. Try to keep it that way, because that means that you don't have to use one. But there are 2 different ways. This is the manual way, a way that you actually have to extract a little bit of blood from your cells in order to introduce to this machine. And there's also a continuous glucose monitor, which I used in the past, but after using it for about 3 or 4 months, which was a great tool to have because it allowed you to see exactly what your glucose reading was any second of the day that you wanted to check. I'm a little bit OCD, right? So I was checking it every single second of the day. I'm like, I got to stop this. So I just went to this, which forces me to stop and actually do it. And I do it 2-3 times a day. Sometimes I'll only do it once a day, depending on, I might forget, I might be too busy or whatever. But these test strips, or the test strips that come in this little container, look like this right here. And for different models, they're going to look different. But this is for the freestyle. And you just take this test strip and you insert it into this machine. When you insert it, it's going to have a little icon right here that flashes saying, hey, it's ready to go, right? But I usually put that in after I've already extracted a little bit of blood. And let me show you how to do that. What we do here is we get a little alcohol pad to sanitize an area. And let me tell you right now that I'm going to have to blur out when I poke myself, because YouTube doesn't like to see any kind of blood. But you'll see me actually poke myself with a lancet, which is what it's called. So I'll be blurring that out. And the lancet is inside this little tool that allows you to quickly puncture your skin. And that's what the lancet looks like. Let me see if you can see it. There you go. It's just got a little needle on it. And this right here shows you what level of puncture you want. If you want it high, low. See, if you have real sensitive skin, it goes all the way down to like 1 or 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 5. I put it on 5 because I have thick skin. And here you go. And like again, I'm going to blur it out. And for those of you that are thinking, this does not hurt one bit, all right? And again, sorry that I have to blur this out, but it is what it is. YouTube doesn't like to see even a microscopic bit of blood. And look at that. My skin is so thick, ladies and gentlemen, that I still have to manipulate my finger so that my blood will come out. So now that I've got a little bit of blood, we use this right here. Let me see. This part right here. And we put the blood on one of those little black spots on the tip. And then it'll beep and it'll give us a reading. Okay? Okay, here we go. There you go. And now once it beeps, it takes a few seconds. And there you go, 109. That's actually a really good reading for 109. It's right now 6:28, and it's about half an hour after I woke up this morning. So 109 is the first reading of the day. I'll go ahead and document that. And then we'll come back here in a few hours after we finish working on that door, probably around noon or so, and take another reading. And then we'll take one after we eat dinner, and we'll see what our average is for the day. And then we can compare that average to when I do my blood test again here in about another month. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am back from doing my chores. I ended up going to Lowe's and picking some stuff up. And I also ended up going to Costco. And before I forget, let me give a huge shout out to Kate. She met me at Costco. She's here all the way from Michigan visiting her daughter, and she came up to me and said hello. Very, very nice. Thank you very much for saying hello, Kate. It was a pleasure meeting you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is always such a blessing to meet our community members, because thus far, every single community member of the Alaska Prepper community, of course, that I've met has always turned out to be such a nice person. And I'm wondering if you're guessing what that is. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a 30-yard dumpster, right? 30 cubic yard dumpster. And I'm not sure if you followed me on the video that I did a while back showing you all of the things that I had accumulated over the years, keeping little scraps here and there, thinking that I use them. Well, all of that is in there right now. And once we get the chicken coop done and I give you a tour of the chicken coop, we'll do a little tour of the property to show you everything that's gone in there. I was going to get a smaller dumpster, a 10 cubic yard dumpster, and the lady that I was talking to said, just get the bigger one. It's the same price and you always have more room. And I'm like, okay, let's get the bigger one then. I'm so glad that she talked me into getting the bigger one. And this is what I picked up when I went out at Lowe's. I picked up some black solid color stain for the chicken coop. It's going to be just like the bunker. And in addition to that, I picked up some green paint, right? Exterior paint. And that's going to be the color of the door, right? The same color as the roof. And I picked up a little American flag for the chicken coop. So that's taken care of. I also had to get a handle for the door and some of these staples, all right, for the actual chicken run. So that's taken care of. I'm not sure if I'm going to be working on the chicken coop today because it was raining all day and actually all night and all day so far. It just stopped raining a few minutes ago. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and put this stuff away and get ready to eat some dinner. At Costco, I picked up some heavy whipping cream, some butter, and some meat for dinner tonight and probably tomorrow as well. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and prep that meat. Well, I'm going to go ahead and prep that meat, just salt it. And then let's go ahead and take our second glucose reading of the day. Right now, it's about 2:30 in the afternoon or so. And I'm going to go ahead and prep the meat and then cook it. And then about 2 hours after I eat my dinner, which is going to be that meat or some of that meat, I'll go ahead and take my last reading of the day to see what it is. But let's go see what it is now before we eat our dinner. And there's Kitty Cat. A little more than 8 hours from the last time that I checked the men. Time has really flown by today, ladies and gentlemen. Goodness, I've kept pretty busy today. Let's see, this is already charged, ready to go. So we're just going to go boom. Okay. Look at that. That one gave me a good amount of blood, huh? Let's see what it is. 96. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. 96. So it's gone down, I don't know, about 14 points or so since our first reading of the day. And this, ladies and gentlemen, how can I complain about that? That right there is a normal range. So it's like I said on one of my previous videos, don't ever give up and just keep showing up, ladies and gentlemen. As long as you're doing the right thing, things will eventually work out. All right, so just keep showing up. I'm obviously very happy with these results, right? I haven't lost as much weight as I wanted to, but in reality, I feel great. And my blood glucose level, as far as I'm concerned, is a lot more important than dropping more weight than I already have. Don't you get tired of eating meat, AP? Absolutely not, ladies and gentlemen. I actually enjoy and look forward to eating my meal every single day. And this is usually the only meal that I eat. Sometimes I may eat twice because I may wake up hungry. And if I wake up hungry, I always wait a couple of hours. I drink my water and my electrolytes first and all that. And if I'm still hungry in a couple of hours after I wake up, I'll go ahead and have some eggs or have something like that. But other than that, I usually try to eat once a day, and it's been working out really well for me. And no, I don't get tired of eating meat. Usually, if I eat a meal where I did not eat enough fat, it seems that my blood sugar is a little higher. And from what I understand, it's because if I eat more protein than fat, then my liver starts breaking down the protein after it's used up the fat that I ate, in order to provide my cells with the glucose that it needs. But if I eat enough fat, then my liver doesn't have to change over any protein into glucose because there's enough fat, which is also fuel, to go ahead and supply my cells with the fuel that it needs. See what it is. And look at that, 95. So I did pretty good today. If I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, I think I remember it being like 109 this morning. So 109, and I think it was 95 the last time that I did my check as well. So ladies and gentlemen, I have to say that that is pretty awesome, and I'm very happy with those numbers. This is just a testament that this, at least for me, because everyone is different, so check with your doctor. If you fall into the category of pre-diabetic or diabetic, see if a ketovore or carnivore diet would work for you. I don't think you'll find out unless you actually try it, though, like I did. And obviously it's working for me. Now, the next time that I'll bring up any numbers is going to be when I go ahead and get my blood work done next month. And I'm kind of curious to see what the official numbers are going to be like. So I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, all right, because it was broken up into so many parts throughout the day. But let me go ahead and leave it off with this, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that this is the first day of the rest of your life. So grab it by the horns and eat it one steak at a time. Only you can do it, ladies and gentlemen. No one's going to do it for you. I hope you get something out of this. If at the very least, a little bit of motivation and inspiration that you can do it, ladies and gentlemen. If I can get on this and stay on this and affect my blood sugar the way that I have in the last 6 months just by changing my diet, anybody can do it. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out. Karma, do you want to play? Yeah? Okay, let's go. Go get it. Good girl. Come on, bring it back. Bring it back. There you go. Good girl. Ready? Go get it. Come on, get it. Get it. Come on. Are you going to get this one? Ready? Let it go. Let it go. Ready? Go. You get it. Good girl. That's how you do it. Come on, bring it back. Bring it back. Give me it. All right, ready? Go get it. Come on. Ready? Go get it. Good girl. Bring it back. Bring it back. Last one, and then we got to check on the meat. All right, let it go. Ready? Go get it.